Well, hello, everyone. I'm Steve Martin. I'm here with my friend Dean Wilkinson, and we've been friends for a few years. A couple years ago, I had some business in southern Indiana and stopped in, and Dean and Chris, they hosted me. That was an awesome breakfast. I don't know why I remember that, but it was
I remember it.
really good. We had a good time, and so we've seen each other in conferences since then. And uh, Dean and his friend Chris do a weekly YouTube show called DC Time, which my wife and I, we watch every Sunday morning. That's kind of our thing. So we really appreciate what you guys do. So, yeah, today we just want to talk about life and what we're thinking about, and we'll just see where this all goes. So,
sounds good.
Dean, tell me what you've been thinking about.
Well, thank you for having me on, Steve. And yeah, I remember that breakfast. I remember you sitting in the chair that you sat in right there, and Chris and I being there. And it was an awesome time. It was a time that was planned for us, and it happened. It's beautiful to think back on things like that, and then now to think of our friendship and what I've gained from all your work. What you've been doing has just been awesome. I've been thinking about that. I've been thinking about what you're doing with Clyde, Andre, the whole gang there, and all that work that's being produced, and it's just beautiful. And what's really beautiful about it too, I'm so happy for all you guys, all the things, how Father's using all of you and all that's going on. It's awesome. So I love that. Thankful to you for that. I know there's a lot of behind the scenes work in doing all this, producing all that, but I'm enjoying it all. Love it. Wish I had, more, always wishing, wanting to do more with that, or not maybe do something, but just wanting to learn more from all this material that's there. So I'm just thankful for those things. That's what I've been thinking about these last few weeks since you've asked, hey, let's do this little interview. And like, sure, we'll do it. What are we going to talk about? At the time when you ask, I'm overwhelmed with things seemingly weighing me down. There's always things to do. That's all of us. We have these tasks every day. Sometimes seem to get in the way of, who we really are. Mm-hmm. Like we can't really see the wonderful goodness in everything like we want to, like we know is true. We know it's all for good. But sometimes we get bogged down a little bit. But the last couple of weeks has been nothing but joy and being thankful for where I'm at, where Father has me, and all these wonderful things that I have. And that's regardless of any circumstances or troubling things that I seem to think I want to change. I want to fix or change things, or wish things were different. Like I wanted the Colts to win last week. Yeah. And that didn't happen. Your team beat us.
Yeah, it worked out for us.
But yeah, that's there again. That's the path. I'm trying to learn to live right here, right in the present. So we don't need to talk about that. We don't need to talk about that.
You brought it up.
I liked your text, though. That was cute. Yeah. You put Chris and I, of course, people don't know, Chris and Steve are big Pittsburgh Steelers fans. I'm a Colts fan. And after the game, after Pittsburgh beat the Colts, Steve had a little text that said, "Oh, fun game," or something like that. I'm like, I failed to see the fun in that game. But anyway.
Yeah.
So
what do you think it was that kind of got you out of your mood that you were in, all the pressure and all that, to becoming grateful? And
I don't know, and I don't know. I think, just and it's right now in this time. This is the last few weeks. I would just put it on, just even thinking about, hey, let's have this discussion. Sometimes that happens with Chris and I. we're so busy with things, and then it's like, well, we're going to get together and talk about, hey, what we want to do on the next show or something. Then all of a sudden you become more settled on, it's just like, relax. I think it's always there. It's there. And I'm thankful about that. So maybe to say it like that even though maybe perhaps I felt, you feel busy with things, or you wonder like, what am I doing? Why am I doing all these things? Or why do I have to do all these things? But that's okay too. I'm becoming more settled in, hey, it's all good. It's all okay. Wherever I'm at, whatever I'm experiencing. And that could be the joys or the pains. I can, it's for a reason. Father knows what he's doing, and I'm grateful for all those things. So, as far as what got me, I don't know. It's all spirit.
Well, sometimes we just need to remind ourselves a little bit of, like say it's in there, but we get overwhelmed with life and things, and just got to take a step back maybe, and like, Father's got this all.
Oh yeah,
Father's doing this all. Yeah,
right, for sure.
Yeah, that was one of the big switches, that took me. It took me a while to go. I mean, it's been back a little bit, but to where God will handle it, to God has handled it. So we get to circumstance, and now what's God going to do? Instead of, well, God wrote this whole thing, and so we're in the middle of it, and we trust Father.
Yeah, we're along our journey, like we talk about, and for a reason. So he's already written it. It's already set, and we can rest in that. That gives me a lot of comfort, a lot of peace, because we get all over. Chris and I just talked about, he was using the idea of, looking through a scope, and that's all you can see. And, our eyes here in this physical realm that, we just see this, hear what's in front of us. And there's so much more to see. Like Paul talks about, your eyes or your heart becoming enlightened, to the things of Father. But we can just see, only very limited right now. That's okay. I mean, that's part of the design. But it's so awesome to know that we're not really seeing so many of these things are fooling us. We're under this illusion of things. And that's something to talk about. I'm so thankful for you guys, you and Clyde's work. We can talk about that, what you and Andre and everybody's doing for him, so he can work on the study Bible and just get down to the, as best that we can, get the words right, see what they say, see what it really says. And when you bring out things like you guys brought out, the difference between grace, say, versus the idea, this perspective of, was it grace, or is it joy? Grace of God or the joy of God. And of course, in so many times, I haven't researched it, had time to look back and check all the words, but it just floods in that, of course, this is the joy of the Father to be doing these things. And so I appreciate that. Appreciate thinking on those kinds of things, and to see it for what it really is. And there's a desire. That's why I'm so thankful for you guys. The info's out there. When Father wants to turn the lights on, it's all there. And so, I'm thankful for you putting it out there to help other people to see, so you don't have those thoughts of, like, I don't deserve this.
Unmerited favor, we've been told. We don't deserve it.
And Chris and I talked about it. We used that language. Chris and I used that language. Chris used it. We were proud to describe it.
Yeah.
It's like we became aware of, Father loves me. Look, I didn't, and then that's a wonderful eye-opening thing that I really thought I was this, bag of crap or something that he couldn't, but his grace, and it was unmerited favor, and he showered it on me, and I can be thankful for that.
Still a bag of crap, but he gave it to me anyways. Yeah, that was the way we were kind of taught. Yeah.
Yeah. So then you come to learn, yeah, that's not it at all. And like we've talked before, Chris and I talked, you guys have grandkids. I don't have grandkids. I have kids, but I have parents. I have wonderful relationships with close family. And we know, and people know what that is to a certain degree. You know how much you may love your offspring, your grandchild. And can we imagine setting up a scenario to where we as a parent would want to make sure our kids understood that they don't deserve my love. They don't, there's nothing they can do to merit, it's unmerited. I'm going to give it to them because of my greatness. They don't deserve it. Can we imagine even talking like that? And we can't, because that's not what we want them to think, because it's not true, right? And we don't even understand true love. Well, God is love. And so his offspring, what comes out of him, he loves perfectly. And so it is deserved or merited, or however you want to say it. It's your family. You're part of the family because we come out of Father. And so those are wonderful things. So of course the word would be joy. It makes more sense in reading that. So if anybody's new to that, probably not here, but I love that. I can't wait to have more time to learn, read these verses, reread these verses, and then put in that word. That's awesome.
Yeah, and there's that passage in Hebrews about coming to the throne. It says the throne of grace. But if you look up, it's that charis word, the throne of joy. That we can find joy in the time of need. How cool is that?
Yeah, I know it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
It changes, perspective. It's the way, and like so many things, the way we see things. We don't see clearly now. We see in this dim way. We just don't see it all sometimes. And so to get those little glimpses, to get those things of awareness, a realization, Father shows us a little something. Oh, I'm so thankful for that, to get that. And when you get that, you get those things, they don't go away. Those don't go away.
Wow.
That's what I found also in this journey. Certain things stick.
And these are, if we learned all this at once, we wouldn't be experiencing these times when something hits and we're like, whoa. And so it's just another thing that brings us a little more peace, a little more freedom, a little more joy. And, doing research for ideas for videos, I'll go watch some of the other stuff where the shorts will pop up on my YouTube feed. And the message out there, if people want to search out Christianity, it's all about God really loves you, but you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this. And so the true message of grace and joy and love and freedom is so hidden. It's amazing because you can Google any subject about Christianity and get the standard information. None of this good stuff comes up. It's just not out there. It's hidden.
Right.
And we get to see little bits of it at a time. And I'm excited about Clyde because he's going over every word, and like, what else are we going to find?
I know. Yeah. It's not going to stop.
No.
That's awesome. Chris and I have talked about that too. That's exciting.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that. Really, really excited. Because I know that's true. We're continuing. There's so much more to come. It's part of our journey. Yeah. And I'm thankful for that. Yeah, I'm at peace with that. That is awesome. Awesome stuff. To think how, like you said, things are hidden now. Um, and when we've talked different times, and this is so much of our story, which I want to think more about to bring out why some of that is happening or what's really going on. Because when we first start becoming aware that, hey, this isn't really true. It's better. The news is better, and we want to share it. And then so many of us, and that was in me, I wanted part of sharing became part of fighting, the bad, the lies. Or, hey, I need to fight that or fix that, change that, because and then you just become overwhelmed to where now I'm more settled. And, if someone's trying to explain to me or get me to see the horrible devastation of these hideous lies, or whatever scenario you want to dream up, the horror of it, and then press that there needs to be concern about that to change it or fix it. My thoughts now are like, man, they're not even seeing at all how bad it really is. It's way worse than what they're even dreaming up.
Yeah.
But so what is my response in that, though? Am I supposed to fix any of that? I mean, we need all this now. Obviously, this is all part of the plan. It's all part of Father's plan. We need each other. We need to go through these experiences like you talk about. We don't know why sometimes. Maybe we don't want to, but it's all by design. And so it takes pressure off to where I don't need to concern myself or worry myself about fixing or changing, or even the daily wants of wishing something was, I wanted it to go this way, like the Colts game, back to that. So every day there's these things that I think I want it to go this way, and it doesn't go that way. Well, so we're in that fight sometimes. That's all like this illusion. It's all it's not the real us, and it's not, and the other people that was brought out in your guys' recent video too, the being kind video. Incredible truth there. I know that's true.
Right.
About family. So, we don't see the real us, and we don't see what's really going on, that true spirit sometimes in others, but it's there. It's there. We see different things, and then we think we're fooled into fixing and fighting and defending and all these crazy things. And yeah, like you said, then it becomes the message. It's easy to dissect anymore, because when that message is like you say so many times, I hear you say it, if it and we can get blamed on, well, this is your feelings. Well, so what? Yeah, it's my feelings. If something doesn't feel right or sit right, if it doesn't bring peace, joy, things like that, it can't be truth. That can't. And so I'm not as scared by some of those things. And you can sometimes you see that message of fear or concern, or even now, even to the point of, even now, a lot of people have shown concern for me, which I appreciate that, and want, like me and you have concern for each other. We would love to share with each other, to bring each other more joy. I'd love that. If anybody's concerned, it can bring me more joy, bring me more peace. When you see it, concern, like, the threats of, you don't believe right, you're not threatened with something. It used to be hell, now it's just, maybe it's not that bad, but you're still not going to got to believe the right things.
Yeah.
Or somehow you're not measuring up, or you're not pleasing to the Father, or you're not going to get all the rewards that he wants you to have. I mean, what are we even talking about? It didn't even make any sense.
Well, and I find now that more than anything, people are just kind of dismissive of me, Well, there's Steve. He's my towel fell down. He's whacked, he's a nice guy, he's harmless, but he's, and so which is a great place to be, really, because people don't bother you. But I think when you were talking about that, is that when we feel like we're in control, that we're responsible for things. Um, that's when the wishing kills us. Because we feel like that we could have changed whatever happened.
Mm-hmm.
But once we realize the sovereignty of God, there's no wishing is just wasted energy, because it wasn't bad that just happened. It was bad. Something bad was planned for a purpose. And I keep bringing that up because that's just something that I think about a lot. Um, just this past week, my son-in-law's mother died. We went to the funeral and all that. And, she was only 72. She had cancer. But that was what God had for her. And she was a good lady and impacted a lot of people. And the other thing is you can't ever make the wrong decision. Once you make a decision, it was the right one, even if it seemed like it was wrong.
I know. I'm with you on that. It's difficult to, well, you said people are maybe dismissive, and it's difficult to talk about some of these things we believe, or things we're coming on to,
Right.
Things we want to experience more of. The fruits of the Spirit, right? It's a different reference, a different realm
Mm-hmm.
that we can't really see and touch and every 24/7. It's here. I don't want to say that it's not here. I think it's everywhere in all this, this beauty that I can't somehow access and see all the time. I know it's here and it's a plan. But yeah, we get fooled into thinking that it's not, or thinking we have to fix it, or thinking
we have to grow the fruit.
Yeah, we have to. Right, you believe the right things, and then therefore, this will, and that's the message. That's the messaging. Like I said, it's always so close. That balance of that messaging of, if you really have something, they're going to see this love, see this fruit come from you. And then when we see other things coming out of us, all the thoughts and all the things that we can say and do, and all these seemingly mistakes, like you said, the glaring mistakes that we couldn't have a conversation about and say, no, it's not really a mistake, like you just said. We can't in reality just tell the judge here on earth, or no, it's not, it's perfect.
God made me do it.
Yeah. So we can't even hardly have conversations in this world here about some of that. It cuts deeper than that. And so to get into those deeper places, it's not to point out error in other people or anything. It would just be to bring us joy. Father loves doing that. And then if that can come out of us to help others, that's all we could hope for, I think, now, the fruits of the Spirit. So I love that last video you and Clyde did about the kindness and the family, and how we're all connected more ways than what we even realize. I mean, there's so much we don't know. I think of those things too. How much we think, we want to be in control, or we think we have some sort of control to make choices, but I have no way to control what's happening right now, and how my cells are growing and changing and dying off, or all these things that are happening for my brain to work and my heart to pump blood, and all this that's going on. I have no control over any of that. Can't produce any of that. Don't know what's going on. yeah, then I think I have control to fix God's design for me, today. I mean, I'm glad not to fight those things.
Yeah.
Whether I'm having a good day or a bad day, I'm not fighting any of that anymore. I know that He's in control. That's what He's given me to believe now, that there's a plan, and I'm settled with that.
Yeah. Doesn't mean you have to like it.
No.
But it does give you peace to know that it's not out of control. Things are not out of control. Mm-hmm. And I, that whole kindness thing is such a, that was another thing that, being brought up, be ye kind, it was like this thing we had to do, it was one of the, and so, and I grew up in the Mennonite tradition, so we were pacifists anyhow. So we always had to, no matter how badly we were treated, we had to, that was a rule that we had to be kind. But when I don't know if you've ever had this happen, but I've responded to a situation already, and I'm like surprised at myself how I reacted in a good way. You're like, that's not really even in me, but
it is. It is.
Yeah, it is. But I didn't think now I have to. It just and so it don't happen enough, obviously. But
yeah, I'm with you. I know exactly. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and so you respond. I can't think of anything specifically right now, but I mean, one thing that's changed a lot in the last year or two is just how I drive. I used to be a pretty aggressive driver, and get mad when people cut me off and all that. Well, anymore, it's like, you got the road, baby. Go ahead, and so it's these little things you see. I don't know, part of the problem, maybe I'm getting old too, I don't know, but it's just, you see God working in you things that I could never do on my own,
Right.
I said, I'm going to be a better driver. Well, that would never work. I tried that.
Yeah. I'm related. Yeah, I relate to exactly what you're talking about. And I was aware, I think, some of my personality, sometimes I could see some of those things that you're talking about, the perspective. There's all these issues too. There's all these ways that we all think differently about these topics. That's fascinating to me too. Chris and I enjoy talking about some of that. So on this, and kindness is one of them. Our mind, there's a lot of different perspectives here to talk about it, where it could be really upsetting.
Yeah.
To some people, like, oh, we don't want all that kindness, lovey-dovey stuff, but it depends what frame of how we're talking about it. Is it law, or are we talking about something from the spirit that we don't even understand that comes out of us, like you're talking about now? So yeah, I'm aware of the kindness as far as having good manners, or how you were taught, probably, how so many of us are taught, and how can we fault that? But when you see it, you see the people that, yeah, they're able to be seemingly happy and helpful. And they hold the door for this person coming behind them and smile and say hi and good morning. But then that same person, a little half hour later is going to lunch in their car. And then all of a sudden they're not letting that person, holding that lane open for that car, that driver. He's now all of a sudden an enemy, and you're cussing him because he's, but when it's exposed about, well, you're going to, so it's all this, sometimes you see that we're aware of the hypocrisy in our own selves.
Sure.
Sometimes we're not, you're not aware. And that's what's sad too. It becomes like, well, it's just good enough to have good manners. Well, that's not, no, when you start learning what Father has for, that's not good enough. It's not about that. It's nothing to do with any of that. It's so much deeper. And so when that comes out, the real you that's able to love to where it even surprises you, like, well, that's not me. I don't know what your words are like, well,
where'd that come from?
Me, or where'd that come from, or whatever. That's, to me, the real. That's the real. That's what we are. That's what we're becoming, being transformed into, right? Coming this experience of being mortal, is going to become transformed into immortality and things like that. Yeah, those are wonderful thoughts. When you start seeing that spirit that you're talking about, that's a real thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's in us all. I don't have any problem saying that. I don't want to get out in the weeds here or get doctrinally off or something. But it's in us all. And we don't see that so many times, and we're fooled to think that it's not. And then all this work, all this effort, like you said, goes into trying to get access to something. We know we need something. It gets overwhelming sometimes, because how do we fix ourselves sometimes is by, being defensive or blaming others or blaming, well, here's what's wrong. It's those people telling me these lies. I need to fix that. Not seeing it as a collective that we're all in this together. We need each other. It's okay to have differences. We need that now.